Hello, Cancer. Elsie here to do your reading. It is for the week ahead. Cancer, how you doing? Thanks so much for clicking here. I appreciate you. We are looking at a 9-card draw this week, Cancer. That's what we're doing. So let's find out what is going on for you, Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. And thank you so much for clicking here if you've been here before. I appreciate you coming back. And if you're brand new, welcome. I hope you'll stay, my little waterlings. Let's find out what's going on for you, Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. It's a watery day out there today. It's raining and it smells amazing in here. I hope you're enjoying your day wherever you are. Look, at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how to find the extended reading if you're interested, and I will also tell you about private reads. Let's find out what's going on for Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We have the 5 of Swords. We have the 4 of Pentacles. We have the 2 of Pentacles. I feel like, Cancer, you're sort of it's like you're juggling some things that are in the mind right now, and I feel as though you are trying to figure out whether you want to speak to someone that you've had words with. It feels like this 5 of Swords is telling me that there is either a conflict within you or there's a conflict with someone else. The 4 of Pentacles is here, though, so I think the result of whatever conflict this is a shutdown. So either you're not open to change or you're not open to making some sort of a decision that's coming up. But if it's a person that I'm talking about, it feels like you're trying to make the decision as to whether you want to give someone reciprocal energy or not anymore, or again, possibly. We've got 4 and 2, which is 6 Pentacles, and that is the 6 Pentacles is maybe, you know, giving a little bit more to one than you are to another. It feels like with this 2 of Pentacles that you're juggling a lot, and I feel like right now there's no conversation happening between you and the person who's in the 5 of Swords with you. Tell me more about Cancer. We've got the 10 of Pentacles. We've got the 7 of Wands. We have the Page of Wands. So yeah, it does kind of point to that. It feels like somebody here is trying to make a health decision. So I'm just going to go off track just a little bit. And I always say, look, you got to bring your discernment here to find out if this is for you or not. But I'm going to be popping around all over the place. So it feels like I'm also getting the energy of someone who's possibly worried about their health, or worried about, about the stability of their health. I'm going to say for you, it feels like you're going to have to learn to be a little bit more flexible with your diet or the way you look at health, or trying something new with your health. It feels like the 7 of Wands tells me that you, when someone tries to give you advice about that you are very sort of standoffish. You're like, I know what I'm doing. I know. It feels like that. Somebody here is ready to give you some advice, but I don't know if you're willing to take it. It's just a side note for some of you here. And I feel, so going back here to this argument that I think has transpired, it does feel like there is possibly someone that you are not necessarily in agreement with on sort of a lot of things that go on. And I think you've known this person for a really long time. It feels like with this 10 of Pentacles, they could be a member of your family. You could have, or maybe you are right now married to this person or in a long-term connection with them. And it feels like right now, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, feeling defensive, kind of like you felt like you had to stand up for yourself or stand your ground. And I think that you're sort of toying with the idea now that maybe it is time for me to make a decision to speak with somebody again. Page of Wands being here. Give me a second here. Dropped a card. What is this? The Sun. It was on its side on the floor, by the way. And so it feels like this is the challenge, I'm going to say. The challenge is getting good, clear, stable, solid communication. Not where we are, you know, if we are disagreeing about a certain subject, maybe we can get along if we don't talk about that subject, is what I'm saying. So it feels like the Sun here tells me somebody's going to have a breakthrough. Look, I've known you for a really long time. I don't know why we're not talking or why we've come to possibly verbal blows, but it feels like that you are feeling that there's something that is unrequited here. So like, we'll never feel the same about each other again. This doesn't have to be romantic. It could be platonic, but the Knight of Cups is in the reverse. And so when the Knight of Cups is in the reverse, to me, it's like I'm no longer tippy-toeing around you. I'm no longer going slow and emotional and being careful with you. Knight of Cups in the reverse is, look, if this is unrequited love, I don't like you and you don't like me, so maybe we just need to stay away from the topics that light us up, right? Maybe we just need to stay away from those topics, and maybe we can get along with each other. This could be someone in the family. The Ten of Pentacles is here. Could be someone in your social group. Could be someone in your soul tribe. We've got the Hanged Man here. So it really does feel like there is a decision that you're trying to make here, and you are holding back because of some sort of inability to change your mind or to change the way you feel about the situation. Whether that means it's about your health or about your family or about the person you live with, someone that you may be committed to in a relationship possibly. It feels like there is going to be a breakthrough here, so we will talk about that a little bit more. We'll talk about the breakthrough. We're going to look at these here in the extended. We've got the Four of Wands in the reverse, and we've got the Justice card. So we'll see what that means, because to me, justice is legal. Four of Wands in the reverse could mean somebody's moving out. Could mean that. Could mean that we just don't have any stability here, and maybe we have to get a mediator in order to get stability. Now, justice could mean legal mediation. It doesn't have to be, but it could be just someone who is very balanced in their ideas, somebody who can bring mediation, right? Someone who can see both sides as a third party and maybe help work out whatever is going on here. All right, tell me about this Five of Swords. Let's talk about this Five of Swords here for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. The Five of Swords, we've got the Eight of Cups. Interesting. We've got the Queen of Cups in the reverse. And then we have the King of Cups. Yes, the Moon is here. Very interesting energies here. So it does look like with the Eight of Cups that the Five of Swords has caused us to detach emotionally from each other because things got way out of hand in terms of our emotions. So the Queen of Cups is in the reverse. Now, if we're reading this in a feminine masculine sort of way, and I will when the two come to the table at the same time, the kings and the queens. And so we do have the King of Cups, who is the masculine leaning energy, and we do have the Queen of Cups, who is the feminine leaning energy. And so together it feels like maybe the feminine was the one who it was being like, who got overly emotional or wasn't able to hide their emotions about the situation anymore. I feel like it's the Queen of Cups who has disconnected emotionally, like it's become disconnected from their emotions and went into swords. Look, I don't want to talk about this emotionally anymore. We just need to figure out our differences. The thing is I think what the reason that the Queen of Cups being in the reverse makes me feel like it's a very animated sort of communication that's been going on, and it feels like the King of Cups isn't having it. So somebody between the two, somebody here is very stoic, and somebody here is sort of overly emotional. Everything is very dramatic and emotional. So it feels like the Queen of Cups, who is the one who is trying to detach from their emotions so they can meet the King head to head, right? So they can meet in this place where I'm not being overly emotional, where we can just talk about things in swords. Moon on the bottom of the deck. So things aren't as they seem, and it feels like there's something here that's hidden or being misunderstood. I don't understand you, you don't understand me, and it's because we can't see in the dark. That's what it feels like. Cancer and Pisces energy is the moon at the bottom of the deck. So I think that this has caused defense mechanisms to be triggered. Feels like it is someone who feels like they have to stand up for themselves. It does feel like for some of you, this is probably a family situation with this. If it's an argument we're talking about, looking at the Ten of Pentacles, we've got the Emperor, we've got the Eight of Pentacles, and we've got the Knight of Wands in the reverse. Well, interestingly enough, I do see the King and the Queen of Cups as mom and dad. So it could be that there are two people who are married here. It could be that you're witnessing this within another coupling in your family, like your sister and her husband, or your brother and his wife, or your mom and dad. It could be something like that. It feels like it could be family related. Now, I feel like you're the person who usually is the stoic one, or usually is the person who takes control of the situation. and then tries to help people work on it, because we do have the Emperor, who always stays in control, keeps all of their wisdom and keeps all the control, keeps the situation level, right? The Eight of Pentacles tells me we got to work on it. We got to work on somebody taking control of themselves in this very emotionally charged connection here. Somebody has got to level the playing field. With the Knight of Wands in the reverse, it tells me we've got to bring stability back. Even though we're going to speak passionately, because you should never tell anybody that they can't feel a type of way. Even though we're going to speak passionately to each other, it's got to be in a very stable way. If you're the person that I was talking about who is not necessarily wanting to change a health regimen. Now, when I say that, it's like either you're talking to your doctor about them wanting to change something with you, or maybe it's something you need to change within your diet in order to make you work better metabolically. Like, it feels like that. So it could be just a simple change of diet that you've been avoiding, that you don't want to do. But if that's you I'm talking about, it feels like the Emperor probably is the doctor. The Emperor is the one with all the knowledge, all the wisdom, right? So it feels like the Emperor probably is the doctor. The King of Swords is also the Emperor, who I can see sometimes in a reading as a doctor. I feel like this person is the person who's going to work on it with you. But I think that what you need to bring to the table is your opinions. Yes, they always should be. You always should be advocating for yourself. But I also feel like it's like you have to be less combative about what's going on here. Way less combative. There is going to be some sort of a breakthrough. We've got the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. There is going to be some sort of a breakthrough. So whether this is the person that you've been at odds with, and it could be a friend, it could be someone you're married to, could be a lover, could be anybody. Whether this is someone you're at odds with, or if this is a health issue that you're not willing to be flexible about, I feel like the Sun is here. So it feels like there is going to be some sort of a really big breakthrough for somebody here, and you're going to realize, like, I just want to straighten this out, regardless of what the topic is of interest that we're talking about. I want to straighten this out. I want to see things clearly, and I want to be happy again. Tell me why the Sun is here. We've got the King of Wands. We've got the Six of Cups, and we've got the Page of Swords. So it is a little bit of somebody here needs to learn to learn others. And what I mean by that is when the Page of Swords is here, the Page of Swords is the one who is the observer. And I feel like it's really expedient to tell you that maybe you should do more observing and less talking. It feels like people will give you cues. They will tell on themselves. They will tell you what's going on if you just listen. So I feel like somebody here is supposed to just listen. The Six of Cups is here, and we've got the Six of Cups, which is nostalgia. So I'm going to say that nostalgically, I think what happens here is you usually go into the King of Wands energy, and you usually begin to fight fire with fire. I want to say it feels like it's like either two people who are married, or it feels like maybe two people who are not on the same vibration. We got the Knight of Wands, we got the King of Wands, and it feels like you probably fight fire with fire. But I feel like you're having a breakthrough, and the breakthrough is I can also inspire. I don't have to argue or fight fire with fire. I can also inspire, because the King of Wands is inspiring. We've got the Six of Cups. And so nostalgically, I think that maybe you fought fire with fire, but I feel like this Six of Cups is telling me that now we're going to possibly change things. The Page of Swords is here, who's learned a new lesson, who's dug up information, who's very curious. If I just observe and just hear this person out and let them say whatever they're going to say until they run out of breath, then maybe we can find a happy medium with the Sun here. All right. Got the Hanged Man energy. Somebody here is in a pause, I feel. At the end of next week. We are reading for the week ahead, right? Always, whether you get this today, tomorrow, or next year. So the Hanged Man is here, and I feel like that next week is like, I just want to put things on pause, because I think this is unrequited love. And if it is, if we're never going to understand each other, and I don't really care enough about you to understand you, then I really need to figure out what I'm doing here. It's all perspective. I need to figure out, do I want to sacrifice this relationship? Is that what I want to do? Am I just done with it? Because it looks like there's something coming up here that is going to go topsy-turvy, and then we're possibly going to go into like a legal stance, or somebody who is some type of mediator is going to have to step in. So I feel like the Seven of Wands at the heart of the matter tells me that this whole thing is making you defensive. Whether it's the thing that the doctor is prescribing or the doctor is trying to help you with, or whether this is a family member, it feels like it's all going to come down to this. It's all going to come down to the Hanged Man energy close to the end of the week here. You are going to have to finally make a decision after being in a pause or getting better perspective, getting a different perspective. It's going to be time for you to make the decision, right? The Two of Pentacles is here. You can't juggle it any longer. We've got the Ace of Wands. We've got the Two of Wands. And we've got the Death card. Wow, somebody's leaving the crossroads. I love that. It looks like something is changing. Transformation is taking place, and it's next to the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is, but wait, I've paused enough. I didn't react like I usually would in the past. Nostalgia says maybe you've reacted instead of responded. And I think that the Hanged Man gave you a moment to look at the situation and say, it's time for me to get out of my head. It's time for me to start putting my plans into action. So I feel like you were able to hold back just a little bit to figure out what the plan is supposed to be, so you don't start fighting fire with fire. The Ace of Wands is like the opening of a new door. And I think you're excited about it because I feel like you've gotten your perspective. Now you're excited. I feel like the sun is here and it's shining on the Hanged Man, which tells me you've had some sort of revelation or an aha moment. And the Death card being here also, Death in the Sun is the awakening. It's like the awakening to something, or the third eye's popped open. It feels like with this Ace of Wands, you can use your fire in a different way, right? Like I was saying, you can use it to bring excitement. You can use it to bring creativity. Find a creative way to take care of the problem at hand. So I feel like that's what's going to go on by the end of the week, is you are finally going to figure out what the problem is. We got the Devil here, what the problem is, what the toxic problem is, and we're going to try and move on from it. The Chariot is here, but first we've got to transform the situation by making a plan and stop going back to the crossroads. That's what it feels like. We keep going back to the crossroads, but we don't put the plan into action. We never put the plan in action. We just make the plan and leave it on the table. I'm going to take this into the extended. If you would like to come into the extended, Cancer, that's where we'll be. And if you would like to do that, there at the top of the comments, there's a pinned comment under every one of my videos, and it has the following information. So you can purchase this extended outright if you just want to see one extended, but if you want to see more than one extended, those are all in my membership area. So please look in the pinned comment for the membership area link. If you're interested in a private read, I'm doing pre-recorded private reads, I'm doing live private reads, and I'm having so much fun doing those live private reads. So that's where all the sales are with the live private reads, anywhere from 5 to 75% off of a call, and you'll simply get a discount just by booking in advance. Please go take the link to Hypsee and take a look at my schedule to see when I'm going to be online, and you can book yours in advance. But I'm also doing pre-recorded readings, so look over those pricings, and if you're interested in that, that is what I'm doing. I'm going to go into the extended now, and I'm going to do that there, and I hope you're well. I hope you're having a beautiful Sunday. I'm going to go for now. You guys take care. Bye-bye.